Hi and welcome to A Life in Chapters. It's episode 3 and today it's all about why I keep journaling even when life feels hard. So, as I always say, this isn't a fancy podcast, no intro music, no editing, just me speaking directly into my mic from wherever I happen to be, sharing thoughts and stories about books, journaling, creative work, and the slower rhythms of a meaningful life. If that sounds like your kind of space, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Okay, so today I want to talk about journaling, but not in the way it often gets talked about online. Because if you search for journaling ideas or inspiration, you'll find a whole world of approaches. And honestly, it can be quite overwhelming. So there's junk journaling with beautiful layers of paper and washi tape and colour. There's bullet journaling full of habit trackers and custom layouts. There's productivity-focused journaling, so morning pages, gratitude logs, even journaling as a form of goal setting. And all of those things can be wonderful if they work for you. But that's not the kind of journaling I'm talking about today. The kind of journaling I'm talking about, the kind that's been a lifeline for me, is much simpler, much messier, and much more human. It's not about structure, it's not about aesthetics, it's not even about consistency. It's really about space. So reflective journaling for me is a way of clearing out the mental clutter. It's how I process things when I feel overwhelmed, confused, sad, anxious, or just a bit off. Now, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be deep. Sometimes it's just 2 minutes of angry scribbling. Sometimes it's half an hour of slow, thoughtful reflection. Sometimes it's just writing, I don't know what to say, over and over until the words finally start to shift. There are no rules in journaling, and that's what makes it powerful. Because when the world feels like it's asking you to show up, to make sense, to keep going, journaling is where you get to pause, to unravel, to admit what's true without having to explain it to anyone else. And that's so important. So I've kept a journal on and off since I was a teenager, and I wasn't one of those kids who wrote every day, but I always came back to it, especially when things felt hard. It became my way of figuring things out, not solving them necessarily, but sitting with them, naming them, making space for the stuff that didn't have anywhere else to go. I was an only child, probably quite an insular child, and because I didn't have a lot of other people around me, particularly at my own age, obviously apart from school, then journaling became even more important for me. And over time, that practice became something I leaned on more and more. So I journal when I'm stressed, when I can't sleep, when I have a decision to make and I can't stop circling it in my mind, when I'm having one of those days where I feel like I should be okay, but I'm not. And I journaled quietly, privately, imperfectly through one of the hardest periods of my life. So in 2008, I lost both of my parents just 6 months apart. And there are no words that really explain what that does to you. I know we've all been through grief in different ways. Mine is no more heavy than anyone else's. But when you're going through it, the shock, the grief, the regret, and also on the other side of it, everything that you have to deal with, the paperwork, the endless phone calls when that's the last thing that you want to have to do, to speak to someone, to tell them once again that the most important people in your lives have passed on. The way your life suddenly gets split in two, the before and the after, the anniversaries, all those things. And during that time, journaling wasn't something I did to be productive or creative or even to make the grief go away. It was just a place to go, a place to say the things I couldn't say out loud. Sometimes I wrote letters to my parents. Sometimes I wrote to myself. Sometimes I just let it all pour out in an exhausted stream of consciousness. No punctuation, no paragraphs, no plan. And even though it didn't fix anything, it did help. It helped me to stay grounded. It helped me to slow down. It helped me feel like I still had a thread connecting me to something solid, something true, because what I was writing was true. It might not have been good, it might not have been happy, but it was true. And while I've leaned on journaling during the hardest times, I want to say this too. It's not just for when life falls apart. Journaling has also helped me in the good seasons, when I felt a new sense of possibility, when I've been working on a big idea, when I've just needed to make sense of all the thoughts buzzing in my head, and they can be good thoughts. It's where I go when I want to understand why I'm feeling stuck, but also when I want to get clear on what's next. Sometimes I journal just to dream, to daydream, to imagine, to lay out an idea I haven't spoken out loud yet. It's not always emotional. Sometimes it's strategic. Sometimes it's creative. Sometimes it's just a quiet way to check in with myself and say, what's going well? What do I want more of? So yes, it's been a lifeline during grief, confusion, and overwhelm, but it's also helped me move forward in calm, steady ways. It's not only about crisis, it's about clarity too. And here's the thing I want to say. You don't have to be going through something devastating to need journaling. You don't have to be a writer. You don't have to do it every morning. You don't need a special notebook or a structured format or a 10-step method. You just need a little space and a little honesty. Journaling isn't about writing something profound. It's about letting your thoughts breathe. It's about stepping outside the noise of the world for a moment and asking yourself, what's really going on here? And then giving yourself the grace to write the answer, even if it's messy, even if it's not clear, even if it's not what you thought you would end up writing, even if it's just one line that says, I'm tired, that counts. Now, I've had periods where I journal every day for weeks and other times where I hardly touch the page for months. That's okay too, because journaling for me isn't about discipline. It's not about something else on my to-do list. It's about availability. When I'm feeling strong, I don't always need it. But when things feel fragile, when I'm spinning or stuck or spiraling, it's there. And I know I can go to the page without judgment. That part matters. Or conversely, when I want to connect back to joy or to find meaning or even just to celebrate, it's there too. So often in life, we're managing expectations, trying to say the right thing, do the right thing, keep it together. But in your journal, you don't have to be anything. You can be angry, you can be afraid, you can be uncertain, contradictory, repetitive, you can be boring, and I am. You can be honest, and that's the freedom. Sometimes journaling gives me clarity. I come out of it with a new perspective or a sense of calm I didn't have before. Other times I just get it all down on the page, close the notebook and carry on. No resolution, no big insight, just the act of letting it out. And even that is enough, because when you give your thoughts a place to land, they can stop swirling so fast. When you name your feelings, even if no one else hears them, something kind of gives way in you, something softens, something steadies. And in a world that moves fast, that demands answers, that often rewards the loudest voices, let's be honest, and mine is never the loudest voice, apart from here, of course, but that kind of quiet, reflective space that you get in your journal is rare. But it's available. You can create it. You don't need permission. You don't need any money. You don't need anything at all. You just need a piece of paper and a pen. So if you've ever felt like you should journal, but you're not doing it right, let me say this clearly. There is no right way. Your journaling can be a single word on a post-it note. It can be 3 pages of scribbles that no one else could ever read. It can be a paragraph on your phone while you're in the car waiting to pick someone up. It doesn't matter how it looks, it matters that it's yours. And if you're going through something, anything right now that feels big or confusing or amazing or heavy or light or just something that all consumes you, then I would suggest that you try it. Just open a notebook, write down exactly what's in your head. Don't edit, don't plan, don't worry about whether it makes sense. Let it be messy, let it be short, let it be whatever it needs to be in that moment. And you might be surprised by what comes out. And you might find, like I have, that the page can hold more than you realized. That's what journaling is to me. It's not a hobby, it's not a system, it's a lifeline, a place I can return to again and again, in grief, in stress, in joy, in confusion, in growth. It's not the whole answer. It doesn't replace other things. It doesn't replace talking to friends. It doesn't replace therapy if that's needed. It's just a place to connect. And maybe that's what it can be for you too. Not a tool to master, but a kind of a companion to lean on. Not a project, but a practice. Not another thing to get right, but a place where you don't have to get anything right. And that's the gift. So if you'd like to go deeper with the ideas from today, whether that's through journaling, book recommendations, or creative business tools, you'll find the show notes and extras at alifeinchapters.com. And if you'd like to support this podcast and be part of a cozy corner of the internet, come and join my Patreon. There are monthly journal prompts, a book club, creative business Q&As, and more. Just head to patreon.com/alifeinchapters or click the link in the notes. Thanks for being here today, and I'll catch you again soon.